Now, back to the scientific method. Here's how it goes.
Okay.
Because I think you can use it for your handicapping.
Okay.
You start with the question or an observation.
Okay.
Then you go to a hypothesis. You are asking an important and meaningful question. Then you do the experiment. You collect the data, and then you have a conclusion. Do you think you could handicap a game this way? I think this is how you handicap
Isn't
games.
this how we handicap?
Yeah.
It's not known as the scientific method, but there is a science to it, if you will. If you're talking about gathering the information and then saying, okay, I'm laying out the facts in front of me, I'm laying out the numbers in front of me, I'm laying out different splits in front of me, different players, different injuries, coaching, all of this different information, and then you lay it out in front of you. Where is the money going? What is the public doing? And then you say, based on all of this in front of me, do I like this play, or what conclusion do I come to? And sometimes that conclusion is, maybe I do something else here. Maybe go grab a coffee and look at another game. Sometimes that's the conclusion.
Maybe you think this is not my session. Maybe I should move on to the next. But
Yes.
here are some of the hypotheses that I've been floating around and trying to test without the test tubes. I have not had any beakers, but I've been watching the games. All right, first of all, do we play unders when it comes to the best defenses in college basketball? Because I thought, hey, maybe this is an angle. You have teams with elite defenses facing teams that they've never seen before, that it's going to be tough to score points against. But this has been proven false.
Yeah.
Because two of the best defenses we've seen so far in this tournament, Tennessee, the Vols have a great athletic defense here, overhitting their game, and the overhit in the Iowa State game as well. Iowa State comes in with one of the better defenses in America. We'll see if this really is the case when the Houston game gets underway, because I think that's one where I really wanted to see that, because I do kind of like the under there. But here's the other thing. It's also probably built into the number.
Yeah, that's the thing, too, especially this time of year.
Yes.
Because early on, as you know, be it Houston or be it a mid-major team, and I think Jared Smith in our first hour alluded to this a little bit, is that FAU last season was easily a top 5 team against the number. Not only did they go to the Final Four, but they were just covering monsters. And Jared was saying, based on that information, sharp bettors for most of the season just kept hammering FAU, and you would be underwater if you had done that, because they have not been the same team. So all of that is to say that, especially now that we have all of the information, now that the bookmakers have all the information from a brand new season, then these lines, I mean, how many times have we seen the hook be the crook here, be it spread, totals, whatever? It's really difficult this time of year to win money. If you can do it, and certainly we celebrate when we can, but it's very difficult. So when you say it's built into number, yes, it is.
You have a background in finance, so I feel like you have an interesting perspective on the market, because as much as it is about sports, it's about the market as well. Are there any teams that you feel are undervalued, or teams that you feel are overvalued?
Well, I definitely think FAU was the most overvalued team all year after what they did last season.
Yeah.
So they were 7-13 against the number in the conference. And it was their first year in a new conference, going from Conference USA to the American. And I used to work college athletics. You travel.
Yeah.
Those, especially in Conference USA, a little different in the ACC, you're going to cities that are new and weird and difficult. I had a feeling that the market was going to be way over their skis on FAU this year. It turned out, again, everyone bet FAU all year. Like, that was one of the even the sharps, even the people that do this for a living, were really high on FAU all season long, and they never covered.
Yeah.
So I think that was a team that, you look at that number today, it was 3.5. It got out to 4. I think it closed 4.5.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, what have the Owls done this year to warrant that kind of a market move unless someone gets hurt? So that's certainly a team that I think overvalued. Undervalued-wise, it's round to round. I think the way you laid it out with the market kind of guiding you, now that we have a game in the tournament and you can really see, for example, UNC Michigan State tomorrow. Michigan State's like a 3.5 point underdog.
Ooh.
A 9
short,
against the 1
right?
seed. And again, that's the market telling you, hey, North Carolina ACC, not a great year for the ACC. Power rating wise, maybe not as good. The Big Ten's a little closer than you think. And Michigan State's a pretty good team with a lot of experience. So sometimes the market kind of tells you who are the undervalued teams. Like Michigan State might be one of those teams that we haven't paid attention to a lot all year because they were kind of up and down. Now they get a chance to beat a 1 seed, and the number is begging for Carolina money.
Right.
That's going to be a
flag.
tough bet, I think, on the Tar Heels tomorrow.
I mean, what the hell do you say about Cal and the Cats? I don't want to take anything away from the Golden Grizzlies. They were very resilient late in that game. What's going on with the Cats?
To me, this is the problem with building an entire roster around freshmen.
Okay.
Right? Like
Yeah.
we've talked about this all year long about, they're young. Sometimes they're going to make young mistakes. Sometimes they're going to do things that experienced players aren't really going to do. And there were times in the second half where you saw it felt like they were down by 5 and Kentucky was trying to have like an 8-point possession, right? Where they thought one basket was they were just rushing, right? There was no one that could kind of take the air out of the ball, settle everybody down, and say, okay, we're going to run offense right here. We're going to get a good shot. We're going to make a play. We got this. Don't even worry about it, all right? Sometimes guys make shots. There were 2 plays, however, that stood out to me more than anything else. In the second half, there was an and one for Oakland.
Okay.
Then on the free throw, there were no Oakland guys on the foul line. The dude missed the free throw. Trey Mitchell takes it and throws it out of bounds when it was a live ball. No one knew what had happened, but it ended up being Oakland ball, and they got a 3 on that possession because Trey Mitchell didn't realize that it was a live ball. It was the and one. You got 1 free throw. Missed free throw. He threw it out of bounds. On the last possession, Robert Dillingham on the 3 that was the dagger that put him up 4 with 30 seconds left. Robert Dillingham is in the corner. Guy drives strong side. Robert Dillingham helps off, leaves up a wide open 3 in the corner from DQ Cole. That you never do that. You never help off the shooter in the corner from the strong side when somebody's driving at you. But you know who did? The freshman. Though to me, that is what stood out, is that this is what happens when you rely on 18 and 19-year-olds in an era where everybody else is 23 and 24-year-olds. Jack Golke, the man of the hour, who, by the way, we got an interview with after the game right here, right where we're sitting.
Oh, is that right?
Wow.
Yeah, we got him after the game, and he's 24 years old.
Yeah.
He looks like he's 35. He looks like Zelensky from Tommy Boy.
He's a father of 5. Is that true?
Yeah, he's a father of 5. Yeah, but it's just when you're going up against older players that have 5 years on you, that are 24, some of them in your 5th or 6th year in college, like it just is what it is, and that's not going away because the transfer portal is not going away. NIL means that guys are going to stay in college for longer. You're not going to have players leaving for the NBA draft to try to get like a G League spot, right? Because you're going to be able to make that maybe more playing in college. You don't have players going to Europe to try to get a 6-figure deal when you can go and transfer up to a high major program, be a 6-man, and get a 6-figure deal in NIL money. Yeah. So I don't think that you can build rosters around one-and-done freshmen only. The way that you have to do it is look what UConn's doing right here. We're watching them roll, right? They have a one-and-done freshman in Steph Castle. They have a guy in Donovan Clingan who would have been a one-and-done freshman had he decided to go pro last year. Stuck around, and now he's playing like an All-American, right? He's going to end up being a first-round draft pick. Alex Carabin, another guy, came in, has the potential now that he's developed to end up going to the NBA after this year. Cam Spencer. Those are the one-and-dones now that you got to look for. Is a guy like Cam Spencer, who's coming in, was a first-team All-Big East player, is averaging like 16, 5, and 4 assists, probably will end up being a second-round NBA draft pick this year, and he gets 1 season there as a grad transfer. That's what the one-and-done is going to end up being now. I just don't think you can build entire rosters around 18 and 19-year-olds. I mean, we'll see if Duke can find a way to pull it off, but I just don't think you can do it anymore, not in this era.